Hey there, how's it going? Welcome to Loop Learnings. This is the next video in the series. We are making clinic management system. And in this video, we will continue with the user form. We will have bit of SQL statements used today, VBA. We'll do a little bit of formatting. We'll clean up this continuous form and we'll actually build a mechanism to open a specific record from this continuous form. So there's going to be a lot in this video. If you are interested to learn all of this, please make sure that you watch until the end. And if you end up liking whatever you will see, also it would be great if you can smash the like button so YouTube would know that this video is useful. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. In any case, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure that you do hit the bell icon so you get notification whenever I upload a new video. Right, the first thing first I'm going to do is I'm going to fix the tab control. So a little bit of uh, fixing on this form. So for example, staff ID status will make them non-editable fields. So we'll do that first, and then we will fix the tab control. What do I mean by that? Watch, I press tab on my keyboard, it should actually go one by one. So you can see that it is skipping email. Watch again, it is skipping email and it's coming back to email. And so if the user is using tab, some are super user, right? So they will use tabs and spaces and whole other things on the keyboards, so it should be easy for them. So we'll fix that tab control. We will also then fix little bit, we'll do a work on this continuous form as well. So let's go ahead and start making these changes whatever I said. So I will select these two fields and I will go to the property sheet, specifically under the data tab, and in here I will see two enable and locked. So two properties I will choose: enabled no, locked yes. And I will also go to form tab, on form in the ribbon form tab, and I will change the back color on a little gray so the user knows that this is non-editable field. Okay, that's done. Now let's fix that tab control. So I'll go to the form design. Here we go, we have a tab order. So I click on that, I get a pop-up. I move the staff ID to the down because I don't need to focus on the staff ID. However, I will fix this. So first name, last name, specialization, phone, and this staff type moves a little lower than the email. Everything else seems to be okay. I will click OK and we'll go to the form view. Now if I'll press tab, it will move field by field very nicely. So this is what I wanted to demonstrate first. Now the code that we have done behind the create button, it actually is not finished code yet. And the reason it's not finished code is because we haven't put um, any validation check whether all these fields are mandatory or not mandatory. So that's why we need to make sure that we have to fix this first, and then we move on to the next uh, next task. Actually, why did I get stuck? I don't know. Anyway, so we'll click on the create button and dot dot dot. In here, what I will do is right after this variable set, we will say, all right, check if any of these field is empty. So if that's the case, then throw an error that, hey, we can't do that. So check that first. All right. So we'll say if nz me dot star, no, staff ID, no, first name equals double quote, um, or nz me dot last name equals double quote, or nz me dot specialization equal double quote, or nz me dot phone equals double quote, or nz me dot email equals double quote, or nz uh, me dot username equals double quote, or nz me dot password equals double quote. And then, okay, then through an error message, ucmd dot beep, a message box, this action cannot be performed. All right, and it would be VB critical type error, and the title would be information. If that's not the case, else, and then let's close that with and if as well. That's it. I wanted to add this check, validity check, before we allow user to click and proceed and create a record in the database. So that's very, very important. Now let's check it out whether it works or not. So we'll go to form view. Now this is empty. So I should be getting the error saying, hey, fill it up. This section cannot be performed. So let's click on create. And there you go, the section code. And this will keep repeating until I provide all the information in all the boxes. So if you think that this is a little extreme, some of the fields should be mandatory and some maybe optional, it's up to you. You go ahead and choose that, right? It's your decision. So go ahead and do that. Now let's do next task is the mark inactive button. We have to do coding behind this. And the purpose of this button is if a staff decided to leave and he or she leaves the clinic, then we have to make sure that this status is marked as inactive. So this is where this button will be used. So we have how the function would be. So we want user to click on this button. We want user to have a message box, and we want user to click on the message box and choosing yes or no. So if it is yes, mark this inactive. If user chooses no, then don't do anything. That's what we are going to do in the next task. Okay. So mark inactive, event tab, on click event, dot dot dot, code builder, and in here we will actually do that code, write that code. If nz, but first of all we need to check the validity. If nz is equal nz me dot staff id equals to double quote, or me dot me dot status equal inactive, then do cmd dot beep. Let me scroll down a little bit. Message box, and the message would be this action cannot be performed. So this is logical. Okay, you're putting logic in your application, and that's very, very important. And let the user know that what they have done, what they have missed. So if the staff id is not selected, that means you have not selected the record, so no updates can be made. Inactive, if the staff is already inactive, then we can't mark that staff inactive again. So all of these are logical expressions that you have to build in any of the application. Now if that's false, then else, and if. Okay, remember I said we will give a message box to the user and we'll give two options, yes or no. So user have to select. So how do we do that? Well, we do that with the by declaring variable first. So dim response as integer. Okay, and after dim response as integer, we will actually come here and we will say response equals message box parenthesis open parenthesis close double quote, and in between double quote we will write the you are about to mark this staff inactive. Are you sure to proceed? Okay, get the confirmation, comma VB yes no plus VB question. All right. So if the user happens to click on, if the response equals VB yes, then else, and if. Okay. If the user clicks on no, then do nothing. That's logical. If the user clicks on yes, then go ahead and mark the status inactive. Now, how that will happen? Well, we can use either the SQL statement to update the record in the table, or we can use the VB record sets. In such cases, I will use SQL statement because that makes it so easier rather than me writing at least 5 or 6 lines of code to achieve. I will write 2 lines of code to actually mark the status inactive, or maybe 3 lines of code, right? So I'm not counting the lines of code, but I'm looking at taking the hybrid approach in terms of coding as well. So if I want to use SQL statement, I need to first declare a variable. So I'll say dim rs inactive as string. Okay, and in here, first thing first, we will do me dot status. So we'll change the status from active to inactive, and then we will write um, the SQL statement, which will actually update the record and change the status to inactive. So rs inactive, that's the name of variable, equals, and we will use update SQL statement. Remember, there is select statement, update statement. So we'll use update. So what are we actually updating? Well, we are updating the table which is called the TBL staff. and we are setting the value of the status equals, we are setting the value to inactive of the status. Now remember, make sure that you put where clause. Always very, very important. Otherwise, what it will do, if you forget where clause, it will mark inactive to all the um, fields, or all the, sorry, rows or records, and that's you don't want. You want only a specific record to be marked as inactive. All right, and this is true for any where you are using this update statement. Okay, so make sure that you keep in your mind, and where clause you have to use, and you will say where um, staff id equals double quote ampersand ampersand me dot staff id. Okay, that's it. Now, with this one line of code, this will mark inactive, but not yet. Why? Because we have to execute this SQL statement, whatever we have written here. So you want to execute the SQL statement. This is how you do. So you say current db dot execute, and the now it is asking query name, query as a string. So that is rs inactive. That's the name, comma. Now, if your database in access, you don't have to do further anything, but our database in this case is in SQL server, so that means we have to provide dbc changes. Never forget this, otherwise you will get an error. Okay, once that is done, we want to throw a message box to the user. The selected user has been marked inactive. All right, so VB information, comma, information. All right, so that's done. This code should work definitely. All right, but we'll still test it out. We'll close that. Now the other thing I want to do is I want to apply the formatting, a conditional formatting, to change the color, background color, based on whether the staff is active or inactive. So I'll select that field. I'll go to the format tab in the ribbon, and I'll click on conditional formatting. In here, I'll create a new rule, and then I will say here equal to, and I'll say active. If the staff is active, then the background color is green and the font color is white. Okay, but if the staff is inactive, then is field value is equal to inactive, then the color is, background color is red and the font color is white. Okay, so that's how you do it. So let's close it. Now the point is, how do I open record from here? I can't, right? As of now, I'm just keep clicking, and I can't do anything. Also, this form is right now as a single form. How do I know? Because there is no additional line, and that is asking it to create a new record. So let's fix first this form. So we'll go to design view, then we'll test it all together. Okay, and we'll go to the format tab. We have selected the form from the middle upper top. We'll go to the form. It is a continuous form. Sorry about that. And data allow addition. Nope. We want we don't want to allow addition. And then we will select all of these. Okay, I forgot actually yesterday. I mean, when I make the last video, I already fixed that. I made this form as a continuous form, so I forgot about that. Anyway, we'll transparent. We'll make it transparent, and we don't want any outline for these text boxes. We will increase the width of the names a little bit, perhaps. Okay. Well, also I want to do one more thing. I want to, if I will go to staff queue, I want to add the staff type ID as well. Okay, so staff type, and I'll change the name here, staff type ID. All right, so we are getting the staff type ID as well. So let's close that, and in here I will add this field to the form as well. Now you must be wondering why I've done that. I will tell you in a bit. Okay, so we'll make it hidden, width 0. We don't want to see, but we want to have it. Now the next, I will increase the height of these text boxes, and I will make it to 0.3. Okay, and I'll scroll down a little bit, and top margin would be 0.04. And I'll go to the home tab, and the color should be, font color should be complete black. The other thing I would like to have is a line here, so line between each record. That would be great for the segregation purpose. So I will draw a line here. Okay, So that's done. Now let's see if the line is straight or it's not. It is straight, so that's fine. Okay, let's minimize this, and now let's see how the form looks like. Looks great. Now I want to click here on the ID, and I want this form, staff form, to be opened and populated with the respective record. So how do I do that? Well, of course, the um, VB coding will come in rescue. So I'll select that field. I'll go to the property sheet, event tab, on click event, dot dot dot, code builder, and in here I will write the code. So first of all, I'll say do cmd dot open form. So first of all, we open the form, and which form we are opening? Staff form. Okay. Then we will start transferring the information from this list, from this continuous form, onto this pop-up form. So how do we do that? Well, we have to give reference of that form. So forms, staff form, all right, and exclamation mark, first name. Okay. So first, sorry, staff ID first. Staff ID equals me dot staff ID. So by that line of code, what you're doing is you're getting the staff ID from this form of the selected record, and you're populating it on to this form. So that's what we will do repeatedly. So let me just copy and paste a couple of times so we can get, all right. Okay, so I do know the name of all the fields, so I will not go back and forth, but if you don't know, you can go back and forth to check. All right, last name, me dot last name, then the specialization, then me dot specialization, and then we have phone, me dot phone. Okay, then we have email. We'll copy and paste. Why I'm typing again and again the same thing. Then we have the staff type. Okay, and it would be staff type ID. Okay, remember I have added ID. This is where this ID which I've added, it will be used to transfer this ID to this combo box. Remember, this combo box has ID as a main identifier. Okay, um, then we will come here. We'll say username, and I will copy that, paste in here, password, and I'll copy this and paste in here, and then we'll copy this. We'll come here and status. Just bear with me. Just we are done, almost done. Okay. I salute you if you are still watching. Appreciate it. Okay. All right. Great. Um, the other thing I would like to do is I would like to change the behavior of. So when a mouse is hovering on this field, it should become like a hyperlink field. Okay. So that's what I want to change. The color we can change it. Maybe I don't know. Just blue whatsoever. Okay. So let's go ahead and test it out. There you go. Now if I will open here, this form opens. All right. Not if I open here. If I click here, this form opens. And this form has all the records that should be populated on it. And you can see that here it is, this record is active. So let's create another record. Let's say James Bond. Okay. Specialization is, um, let's say general medicine. Okay. Then phone number, just random, and then james.bond at email.com, staff type doctor, username 99999, and then James B password, something like that. So click create. There you go. We have the James Bond updated there. We have the information updated here. Now if I will open James Bond record, it will get open. John Doe, it will get open. So you can see that how it is working. The only thing is left is to check whether mark inactive button works or not. So I click here. Remember that I was talking about the message box. This is what it is. So if I click no, nothing happens. But if I click yes, the status is changed to inactive and the color is also changed as well. So that's That's what I wanted to demonstrate in this video. And you can see that it's more clean looking user interface, and we will go through all of these step by step, and we'll make the full application like that. So um, what I would need from you is, I would need in the comments below, I would need your feedback, whether we are going good, do we need to add something or whatsoever. Are you liking it? If you are liking it, smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. Hit the bell icon so you get notification whenever I upload any video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.